Hey everyone, and thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Justin, and today we're veering a little bit away from Toronto Maple Leafs talk and actually approaching Montreal Canadiens territory. But tonight is the Seattle Kraken expansion draft, where Seattle's roster from who they select from every team will be announced. And there's a lot of speculation on what approach they might decide to go. There's a lot of really good young players available, some players that are really cheap and maybe prospects, and there's also some very good established players, but players with a bigger contract. And so with the likes of like a Vladimir Tarasenko, a JVR, Subban, who is a little bit washed up, but those kind of big contracts and been there, done that guys, versus taking players that are about $1 million, a couple $1 million, maybe even less than that, some projects, some just see how it goes and make a young team and kind of compete in a few years' time. And with that said, the big topic of conversation right now is Carey Price. He is left exposed, obviously due to the $10 million cap hit, but also some alleged injury problems that he's facing that might hold him out for part of next season and inhibit his ability to perform as peak Carey Price moving forward as he is getting a little bit up there in age. So a lot of people, analysts, fans, whoever have mixed opinions on whether they should take Carey Price. And I think obviously part of that is the decision internally with Seattle of, are we going to try to compete right away and do something like Vegas did in their first year? And actually every year since, Vegas has always been a competitive team since their inception in the league. Try to emulate that and go for a competitive team right away, or go for a young team and try to develop them. And that might change your opinion on whether they take Carey Price. In my personal opinion, I take Carey Price no matter what. If you have Carey Price on your team and your team somehow surprises people, even if it's not built to be a contender and makes the playoffs, Carey Price is a factor that can lead your team, as we saw, to the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, obviously, the team wouldn't be as well built as the Montreal Canadiens, but that playoff price factor is definitely something that cannot be understated and is capable of bringing a team further than a lot of people would anticipate. And so that alone makes Carey Price's value tremendous. But also, if Seattle takes a team that is well below the salary cap and they're intending on maybe not making the playoffs in the first year, or their trajectory is not to make the playoffs in the first year, you can easily move Carey Price. There are teams that want him, and heck, I'd even say retain 50% of the salary, keep that salary on the books, and then charge like 3 first-round draft picks for him. There will be teams that would absolutely overpay or spend just a huge amount on a 50% retained $5 million Carey Price that would push a competitive team definitely beyond anything that they were previously with the factor of having Carey Price. And I brought it up already, there is reports that Carey Price is dealing with some injuries. Well, if he was dealing with those injuries in the playoffs, it definitely didn't impact his performance. Nobody was talking about Carey Price looks injured. Everyone was talking about how Carey Price looked like Carey Price of old, and he was just unstoppable, unbeatable. He was such a great goaltender. Of course, Vasilevsky played very well as well, but Price was unbelievable, and nobody had any speculation of him being injured. So if this is something that he sustained right at the end of the playoffs, maybe. I don't believe that. I think it was probably something he played through the entire time and played at a very, very elite level. So that shouldn't have any impact. And if it does have any impact and it keeps Carey Price out for part of the season, well, you put him on LTIR, and that's $10 million of cap relief. And ultimately, eventually, Carey Price will be healthy enough to come back, probably towards the end of the season, going into the playoffs. So whether Seattle wants to keep him and go for a run, or if they want to move him at the deadline to a contender for a giant haul of either players that can step into your lineup right away for Seattle, or more importantly, prospects and picks so that Seattle can be a very competitive team in about 4 or 5 years' time, that is a no-brainer, good option either way. I can imagine that Montreal fans would be very displeased if they did lose Carey Price for nothing. It's probably something that nobody saw coming, even in the playoffs when we knew that this expansion was coming. Nobody thought that Carey Price would be left exposed, that he would move his no-move clause, and that they would protect Jake Allen instead. I definitely understand why they did it, but If they lost Carey Price for nothing, it would definitely devastate a lot of fans and definitely not look good as well. And the league has already announced that if they were to select Carey Price and then move him back to Montreal in exchange for maybe some cap retained or some extra picks, that's a clear circumvention of the draft, and that's not allowed. So Montreal would be looking at losing him, and that would be a huge storyline and one that I'm excited to see unfold tonight. So what are your thoughts? Like I said, a lot of really good players available, some surprising names that were left unprotected. It's very interesting to see what's going to be announced tonight, but I do think that they should take Carey Price. It's a no-brainer whether you want to keep him or flip him. Like I said, it's a guaranteed win if you're Seattle. But otherwise, let me know your thoughts. What do you think they should do with Carey Price, Tarasenko, JVR, Landeskog maybe? So many great names. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you are too, but we'll find out tonight. So enjoy watching the Seattle expansion draft, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.